Okay, I think we're going now. This is the Jack and Sally barrette that I have been planning on making. And I showed you this piece that I have designed for their background. I was debating changing the black squirrel to a different color, but my daughter insists that this movie is nearly all black and white, and it needs the black, so we'll keep the black. I chose to have the sides be these little pieces. It's going to be an extra large barrette. As you can see, that's pretty good sized. These are going to be on the side pieces, and then of course there's Jack and Sally for in the middle. So our start is to put the base down. Need these to get a little bit of a curl in this. Always check this, make sure your curl's going to work, or if it's too deep, not deep enough. This is looking pretty good, as you can see. We want to go right through the middle of this, so yeah, that looks pretty good. Now we want to get the other side as well. This is a bracelet bender from Beetle-On. Well, it says artistic wire, but that's a form of Beetle-On. So anyway, we want to get the bend in there. And this works perfect. I used to do it all by hand, but since I've got that, I do a lot of it, the bending with that piece. Okay, this is going to be nice looking too. So that's good. And then of course we have our middle piece. This is probably a bigger bend than it needs, but I always try to get the bend good and then adjust it. It's definitely bigger than it needs, I think. Well, maybe not. Let's see here, a little bit up here. Oops, don't drop it. Here we go. The curl goes that way. So, there we go. I think that's going to work good. Now that we've got the bends in, the next thing is to glue these three pieces down before we put the accompanying pieces in. This is E6000. This is the jewelry blend, though I do sometimes use the industrial strength one as well. Either works very well. Start by putting the sides on, get them placed where you want them. Okay. I have some little pins that I hold these in place with while I'm working. And yes, I'm getting glue on my fingers. I advise keeping a paper towel near you when you're working on these things. I don't have one at the present moment, which is sort of silly. Let me see if I've got one here. I normally have one right beside me. Ah, here we go. I knew I had one around here. Now when you've got these pieces placed, as you can see, this one wants to curl a little bit. So I'm going to put another pin on this side over here. And this is slipped a little, so let's get it fixed. Pin on either side. There we go. Make sure you're working from the right way. Usually I thread it, put it this way so that when you put it through your hair, it goes from right to left. It focuses into your hair a little bit better usually that way. Okay, so then we want to put the cornice piece in. We want it centered over the other two sides, and you want to see how much glue you need to put on the other edges, because this baby is going to go over the top here, and it's going to go over the top of those two pieces as well, so you need to have some glue in here as well as through the middle. Let's get this the right direction, and we'll get it across there as well as here, just to make sure we have enough coverage here. Okay, now corners on. Let's see that we center it between the two sides, and then I will pin it down. Because of the large size of this piece, you're not going to make it all the way to the barrette itself, so make sure you're hooking your it to your side pieces well. Now, Sally's going to go here, and Jack will go here. Now, I've already worked these out. These had shanks on the back. As you can see, I've cut them off. And then after I cut them, I put a little glue in where I cut the shank off, because I also had to cut this little knob that holds Jack's head on. And because I cut that off, I definitely needed to glue that because his little head rolled off. So that's one thing when you cut the shanks off, you got to be careful. If they are multiple piece, they will frequently fall apart, and you do need to get a little glue in the shank right away. These, which I cut their shank off as well, as you can see, they were one-piece ones, so we didn't need to worry about the shank on these. So we will glue Sally and Jack into place. Another thing, when they have this bump here, you're going to need to make sure you have plenty of glue, because otherwise it will not hold up there, because where the pieces come together, it's going to hold it up off of the piece, so you need to be careful and make sure you get it on. Let's get him turned. Down you go. Okay. There's the two of them. Now the next thing I'm going to do is put the little tombstones in, because I want those right here where this centerpiece is. Put them at a slight angle because for two reasons. Number one, I like the way it looks when it's a little crooked, and number two, because a lot of old tombstones are sitting sideways. So do that. See that they're about even. Now we're going to put these little spiders across the top right here. And then the pumpkins are going to go down here. Oop! Sticking to me. Come on, baby. He just doesn't want to go on, does he? There we go. Up you go. Into place. And wipe our fingers. I think we'll put these down a little bit so the spider has a little more room up there. Okay. Then the pumpkin will sit right here. We are going to move this pin just a little bit like this, so it will still hold it but won't be in the way, because I'm going to put the pumpkin right here. All right, so this, when we get the pumpkins on, that will be the last step. And then it just has to dry. Okay, the pins will stay on for a little while till it dries up some, till the glue dries. Close the dry up glue and put it away. And as soon as the glue dries, the pins can come off and she is done. Might be able to actually take these pins off right now. Let's see how they go. Yeah. Yep, those feel like they're tightened up pretty good there. So that's what the sides are gonna look like. This one's off a little. That's all right. There we go. Take these off for temporarily so you can see what it looks like finished, and then if I don't think they're dry enough, I will put them back. But there you go. That's what she looks like. You see I have a little cleaning up I need to do here, but that's not really that hard. Use a pair of tweezers. These have not dried enough. Once it has dried a little bit, then you can pull any excess glue off, as long as you wait at least say 15-20 minutes, half hour might be better, but you do want to get any excess glue off before it gets really, really dry. So there you go, Sally and Jack. Thank you.